Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start.
So it's not Chrome tabs. It's not Edge. Matthew, it's not Chrome or Edge. What do I open?
I'm in Chrome.
Is it Chrome or Edge?
I'm in Chrome.
Oh, Chrome. Yes, it's still good.
I don't have internet.
Oh, we don't?
I have no internet
That
access
might be
right
an
now.
issue. I do.
Okay.
How strange.
Yeah, I have no connection available. So,
Do you want to go ahead and try to start it, or?
restart it?
Oh, no, did you want to just go ahead and start it, or?
Well, I don't have internet, so I don't know what I'm going to read.
Okay.
Unless I look over her shoulder, I guess. I mean, I can do it on my phone probably, but I don't have
Yeah.
logins for all this stuff.
Oh, they're written down somewhere.
It works. Oh, yeah, they're up there, the logins. I can't see them, but
Yeah.
that's strange. I'm sure
It is.
internet access just fine. How bizarre. I don't know enough about technical stuff. I've been out of that world too long.
The interwebs quit on me.
Interesting.
But I have access.
Oh, I didn't mean to put that. Let's just, you haven't restarted, have you?
No, I haven't.
Let's just restart and see if that fixes it.
At least there's the connections available now. That was new.
Yeah. Oh, there.
The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon.
And it's Tony again.
Tony,
I'm bad
yeah,
with
Kelly.
names,
All
so
good.
I just wanted you to remind you just in case.
Whenever you guys are ready to go.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. My name is Kelly, and I'm here with Tony. We invite you to listen to our broadcasts both live and on demand. Our live sessions are available on the Blind Community Thrift Store YouTube channel, Monday to Friday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. each week. Additionally, you can access on-demand content through the Audio Reader Network, which offers a wide range of audio materials for the visually impaired community. To explore content from the Audio Reader Network, please visit www.reader.ku.edu. This site provides details about accessing content via Amazon Alexa, Audio Reader Network mobile app, and the information on receiving a radio to listen to the broadcast by KSMU Radio. All broadcasts are played over KSMU's subcarrier airwaves at 67 kilohertz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Contact Audio Reader Network for information on receiving a pre-programmed radio.
And from Doyle Rice and Samantha Foster, it looks like false spring brings risk of severe weather to the Springfield area. From the Springfield News-Leader, although astronomical spring won't begin until later this month, Missouri is experiencing a false spring that includes a threat of severe weather Friday. Along with much of the central, eastern, and southern U.S., Missourians can expect higher than average temperatures over the next few days. The National Weather Service in Springfield is forecasting a high of 76 degrees on Friday, 62 degrees on Saturday, 67 degrees on Sunday, and 75 degrees on Monday, with high temperatures continuing well into next week. Thunderstorms also are expected on Friday afternoon and into Friday night, the Weather Service said Thursday, with potential hazards including large hail, damaging wind gusts, and a few tornadoes. Last year, the National Weather Service reported 16 Missourians died because of tornadoes, making it the deadliest year for tornadoes in the state since at least 158 people were killed in the EF5 tornado in Joplin in 2011. NWS also reported 3 flooding deaths last year and 1 death because of a severe thunderstorm. So how long will this fall spring last? In an online forecast, AccuWeather senior meteorologist Matt Benz said the pattern from late this week into the weekend will give tens of millions of people in parts of the Midwest and Northeast a serious case of spring fever. This fall spring will be short-lived, however, as another unwelcome visit from Old Man Winter, in the form of the dreaded polar vortex, is in the offering for later next week. We will see, hopefully, winter's final Arctic blast move through the lower 48 in middle March, Mao said. So what is a false spring? This can be classified as a false spring coming up, especially from the Central Plains to the East Coast, said AccuWeather meteorologist Paul Pastelok in an email to USA Today. False spring is a period of unseasonably warm weather, which can trick us into thinking winter is over, according to Homes and Gardens. But after a false spring, the temperatures can go back to seasonal averages or even below average. This can be frustrating for anyone, but can also cause problems for gardeners. And how does false spring affect plants? The warm temperatures can cause plants and flowers to start blooming weeks before they normally do, but the fresh leaves and blossoms can be damaged when temperatures plummet once more. This happens because plants are adapted to survive freezing temperatures when they happen gradually, and the plant has time to prepare, but not to temperatures that plummet in a day or two, according to the Urban Ecology Center. Forecasters said the next major risk of Arctic air will not be until the middle of next week. A couple of strong storms mid and late next week can bring Arctic air into the plains, Midwest, and eventually the east, Pastelok said. Temperatures could drop 10 to 18 degrees below average. Weather trader and meteorologist Ryan Mao, in an email to USA Today, said that by the middle of next week, the entire polar vortex shifts southward closer to the Canadian border with the potential for lobes of cold Arctic air, even for mid-March, to sweep through the lower 48. And when is the first day of spring? Well, that depends on who you ask. Meteorological spring occurs during the months of March, April, and May each year. So for meteorologists predicting the weather, spring started on March 1st, 2026. But for those marking the change of the seasons by the celestial bodies in the sky, astronomical spring begins a little later. On March 20th, 2026, when the sun is directly over the equator, also known as the vernal equinox, astronomical spring begins.
From the Springfield News-Leader, the obituaries for this week. Thursday, March the 5th, 2026. Dr. Yung Huang, MD, age 90, of Springfield, Missouri, passed away on February 27, 2026, following a relapse of lymphoma. Ray Ann Sutter, age 63, from Springfield, Missouri, passed away suddenly on February 6, 2026. Wednesday, March the 4th, 2026. Janet Bowman Kennedy, aged 87, of St. Louis, Missouri, adored for her caring devotion and gentle determination, Janet Bowman Kennedy passed away peacefully in her home at the Gatesworth Senior Living Community in St. Louis. Shirley Jean Carpenter, from Springfield, Missouri, 88, passed away February 2nd, 2026. Arrangements provided by Greenlawn Funeral Home East. Dale Eldon Harrison, of Springfield, Missouri, 88, passed away March 1st, 2026. Arrangements provided by Herman H. Lohmeyer Funeral Home. Florence Maltby, age 92, Springfield, Missouri. On January 28th, Florence Helen Maltby died peacefully in the company of family and friends. Patricia J. Patty Miller, 89, passed away March 1st. Arrangements provided by Gorman Sharp Funeral Home. Janice Arlene Oldham, age 89, passed away on February 27th, 2026 in Springfield, Missouri. From Monday, March the 2nd, 2026. Granville Henderson, age 92, Granville Eugene Henderson I of Springfield, Missouri, passed away on Wednesday, January 21st, 2026.
And here's how to prepare for your April 7th local elections in Greene County. From Marta Meads at the Springfield News-Leader, local elections on April 7th are quickly approaching. Several municipalities in Greene County will ask voters to weigh in on local tax issues and school boards. In Greene County, according to a county clerk's office news release, 9 cities, 5 school districts, and 3 fire protection districts will post questions on the April ballot. In order to cast a ballot in the election, eligible Greene County residents have until 5 p.m. on Wednesday, March 11th to register. The easiest way to check voter registration is to visit the Missouri Secretary of State's website at www.sos.mo.gov. The website has an online portal that allows local residents to enter their information and check both if they are registered and which polling place they're assigned to vote. There are several ways to register to vote ahead of the March 11th deadline. Residents can register by visiting the Greene County Clerk's office in the historic courthouse at 940 North Boonville Avenue, room 113, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Visiting any Missouri Department of Revenue vehicle license office or any branch of the Springfield Greene County Library, or by visiting the Secretary of State's website. Mail-in postcard registrations will also be accepted if postmarked by March 11th. A downloadable registration application is available on the clerk's website at www.vote.greencountymo.gov. To register to vote, a valid personal identification document is required, such as a valid Missouri driver's license, a copy of a birth certificate, or other proof of U.S. citizenship. For those who may have moved within Greene County or whose name has changed, Greene County Clerk Shane Scholler asks to contact the county clerk's office as soon as possible to avoid any delays and help ensure a better voting experience on April 7th. These changes must be completed in writing according to the release. So what's on the ballot? Springfield voters will have only one question on the ballot: whether to increase the lodging tax to fund a convention center and event center project. The city is asking voters to weigh in on whether current hotel and motel tax paid by those booking hotel rooms and short-term rentals within the city should be increased by 3% for 35 years to fund the construction, operations, and maintenance of a new convention center. In the city of Battlefield, 4 Board of Aldermen seats will see contested elections on April 7th, and here is who's running for those seats. In Ward 1, a 4-year term, Ashley E. Anderson and Samantha Deaton. In Ward 1 for a 2-year term, Desiree Marsh, Matt McNitt, Cheryl Montgomery, Brandon Lane, and Ashley Reed. In Ward 2 for a 4-year term, Nathan Westmoreland and Kevin Britt. And in Ward 3 for a 4-year term, Timothy Kelly Sr. and Ben Clemens. In the election for City of Ash Grove's mayoral seat, incumbent Caleb Smith will run unchallenged. Meanwhile, 2 Board of Aldermen seats will see contested election. Courtney Leader and Casey Benson are running for the Ward 1 seat, while 2 candidates will face off for the Ward 2 seat, Troy Watts and Renessa Williams. More seats for elected office in the City of Republic will remain uncontested. However, incumbent for Ward 3 City Council seat, Brian Fields, will be challenged by Justin Snyder. The elections for City of Walnut Grove's North and South Ward Alderman seats will see 3 candidates. Jennifer Westerman, Erica Russell, and David Strong are running for the South Ward seat, while Christy Eiler, Fred Ruth, and Amanda Smith will face off for the North Ward seat. The Stratford School District will hold elections for Board of Education candidates and Proposition KIDS. The proposition requests a $16 million bond issue in order to improve the Max Evans Gymnasium, Indian Plaza athletic areas, and the auditorium, construct an ADA-accessible playground, reconfigure parking and traffic flow, and complete other repairs and improvements. The district's tax levy would remain unchanged. Walnut Grove School District will see a crowded election for its Board of Education. Here's who's running for the 3 open seats: David Glenn, Billy Fitch, Travis Holman, Jeremy Kelly, Tyler Jeffries, Cody Sharp, and Diane Smith. Voters within the Logan-Rogersville School District will also be asked to issue $24 million in general obligation bonds to construct an agricultural center at the high school, expansion for additional fine and practical arts at the middle school, improve and renovate classrooms and HVAC systems. The tax levy would remain unchanged. In order to fund salaries and benefits for its employees, the Pleasant Hope School District is asking voters to increase the operational tax levy ceiling by 10 cents per $100 of assessed valuation in 2026, and another 10 cents per $100 of assessed valuation in 2027. In turn, the district expects to make the same reductions in its debt service tax levy, ultimately keeping the overall tax levy the same. Marion C. Early School District will hold elections for 3 open seats on its Board of Education. Here's who's running for those: Rex Petrie, Josh Reed, Kevin Painter, Thomas Franca, and Megan Bridewell. Willard Fire Protection District will ask voters whether to authorize an increase to its tax levy for an additional 29 cents on $100 assessed property valuation to fund the district. The district also includes elections for its Board of Directors. A tax levy increase will also be on the ballot for those within the Ebenezer Fire Protection District, which will ask voters to authorize an additional levy no more than 25 cents on $100 assessed property valuation to fund the district. The Stratford Fire Protection District will ask voters to issue $9 million in general obligation bonds to fund improvements to fire stations and related facilities, firefighting vehicles, and acquire fire protection and firefighting apparatus. The district also includes elections for its Board of Directors. Sample ballots are available to be viewed on the Greene County Clerk's website at www.vote.greenecountymo.gov/voting-information. Early voting has already begun for those unable to cast their ballot on Election Day. In-person absentee voting is available at the Greene County Election Center, 1126 North Boonville Avenue, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, up to and including the day prior to the election. Requests to vote absentee by mail must be signed by the voter and received by the clerk's office no later than 5 p.m. on March 25th. Mailed ballots must be voted, notarized, returned by mail, and received by the county clerk's office by 7 p.m. on April 7th. No excuse early voting will begin March 24th and end April 6th. The Library Center at 4653 South Campbell Avenue will be open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. from Tuesday, March 31st through Friday, April 3rd and Monday, April 6th. The Election Center will also be open Saturday, April 4th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for no excuse voting.
A new era, new owners to reopen Ebbets Field at the end of March. First day of operations will be March 27th, the company announced in a Facebook post by Ryan Collins. The new owners of Ebbets Field will reopen the iconic Springfield restaurant at the end of March. The first day of operations will be March 27th, 2026, the company announced in a Facebook post. The lights may have gone dark, but the memories never left, the company said in the post. We're stepping back up to the plate with a new logo, a fresh new lineup, and the same hometown spirit you've come to love. After a 29-year run on Walnut Street near downtown Springfield, Ebbets Field closed in January of 2024. The restaurant originally opened on Cherry Street in 1981 before moving to its current location at 1027 East Walnut Street in 1994. Last summer, Sydney and Jared Davis closed on the purchase of Ebbets Field, which had sat closed for about 18 months at the time, according to previous Daily Citizen reporting. Sydney Davis, a Springfield native, worked at the restaurant in college and had eyed purchasing the Springfield staple for many years. The owners teased all the nostalgia of the Springfield business as well as a new logo. There's so much more to show you, and we're just getting started, the company said in a post. From the Springfield Business Journal, Care to Learn launches a capital campaign for new headquarters by Claudette Riley. Springfield-based nonprofit Care to Learn launched a capital campaign March 5th called Caring Starts Here to establish a new home base. It is nearly 4 times larger than its existing headquarters. This will be a long-term home for us. It really gives us a lot of room to grow, and we've seen a lot of growth in the last few years, said Doug Pitt, founder of Care to Learn, in an interview. That's how we're wired, and we plan to do more. So we're excited that now we have a place to do it, and everything we dreamed about now can come to pass. The nonprofit raised $5.74 million of the $6.9 million project to purchase and renovate the 19,740 square foot building at 1730 East Portland Street, and the new capital campaign is designed to make up the difference. A purchase price has not been disclosed. Greene County assessor and recorder filings show the property changed hands in September. Once completed, the building will serve as headquarters for a nonprofit started in 2008, partnering with Springfield Public Schools to meet the health, hunger, and hygiene needs of children. It now has more than 50 partners, providing resources to more than 130,000 students. Pitt said the goal of adding space is to help more children. He said by taking care of immediate needs, students can focus on learning. We've been able to just come in there and surgically take care of what the kids need that day and get them back in the classroom, he said. The nonprofit reported a 233% increase in student requests over the past 4 years. In its first 18 years, Care to Learn said it has invested $16.7 million and met 4.6 million student needs. School districts across Missouri are increasingly reaching out to Care to Learn because they are seeing students and families struggle in real and immediate ways, said Crystal Simon, CEO of Care to Learn, in a news release. Several Missouri school districts still need help and don't have access to our resources. As rising economic pressures continue to stretch families and schools beyond their limits, a larger space will allow us to stand beside more communities, strengthen those partnerships, and ultimately double our statewide impact. Funding raised to this point includes a one-time $2.5 million grant from the state of Missouri and donations from Doug and Lisa Pitt, the Care to Learn Board, and others who gave anonymously. To secure more funding, the Maybe Foundation has agreed to provide $750,000 challenge grant, but it will only be awarded if an additional $1.875 million is raised by January 13th of 2027. The new home and expanded warehouse will allow the nonprofit to better manage bulk deliveries and in-kind donations. It will also provide more space for volunteers and create a regional hub. This building is huge for our community and really for our entire state, said Simon in an interview. This building will allow us to expand our mission in ways that our current building and facility does not offer. First, it will allow us to host volunteers. The nonprofit's annual operating budget is $6.8 million. There are 9 full-time employees. Simon said the nonprofit has a short-term lease on its existing building at 1047 South Glenstone Avenue and will remain there until the new facility is ready. Renovations will start this summer, with the project expected to be complete in spring of 2027. The nonprofit is working with Paragon Architecture and Snyder Construction Group, LLC.
And it looks like there are a number of fun holidays for today, Friday, March 6th. We observe Alamo Day today. We have Middle Name Pride Day, Employee Appreciation Day, World Day of Prayer, and Dress in Blue Day and National Dress Day, among others today. And if you would like to dress in a powder blue tux or a fancy dress, I have just the event for you. It's prom time for us adults, 21 plus. The 9th annual Love Financial's Springfield Prom is going down on Saturday, April 11th, 2026. The win-win: raise money for kids in the Ozarks and have a night to remember. On Saturday, April 11th, the Springfield Sertoma Club and Abu Ben Adam Shriners are throwing you the adult prom dance party you've always wanted, with tail-shaking music, memorable prom pictures, beer, tasty cocktails, and more. The drinks will be flowing and the music will be going from 7 p.m. until midnight at the historic Abu Ben Adam Shrine Mosque. Get your general admission tickets for only $25 and dance your backside off with music from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today, brought to you by DJ Platinum. VIP tickets are $60 and include access to a VIP-only bar as well as heavy hors d'oeuvres. VIP tables are already sold out, so be sure to secure your ticket now. This is a formal prom, so formal dress, flowers, limos, wining, and dining are all encouraged. As far as the dress code, all guests must be wearing either a dress, skirt, blouse, button-up shirt or Oxford, tuxedo, suit, or dress pants. All shirts must be tucked in, and the only hat we'll allow is a top hat. We reserve the right to refund tickets for guests we don't think tried to impress formally. This event is for adults only, 21 plus. For more information, please visit www.springfieldprom.com or visit facebook.com/springfieldprom.
From the Springfield Daily Citizen. Homicide victim was chronically homeless. He was also a beloved regular at a downtown coffee shop. Anthony Chambers stopped by Mudhouse Coffee in downtown Springfield almost every day. The manager called Chambers a sweet man who is always polite and gracious. Coffee shop employees are planning a candlelight vigil for Chambers this week, by Jackie Rewald. Anthony Chambers was a familiar, friendly face at the Mudhouse Coffee Shop in downtown Springfield. The unsheltered man from North Carolina came into the shop almost every day, employees say. Sometimes he would ask for hot water to brew his own tea. If he had cash, Chambers might buy a pastry. Oftentimes, customers would offer to pick up his tab. He liked to sit at the bar or find a table where he could spread out his drawings and journals, recalled store manager Lisa Ferentz. He was a very creative soul, Ferentz said. It was clear that he was constantly creating. He was a very sweet man, she added. He was incredibly gracious and always polite and kind to my employees. Ferentz spoke with the Daily Citizen on Monday, days after the 48-year-old Chambers had been fatally shot just feet away from the Mudhouse entrance. Mudhouse employees are planning to hold a candlelight vigil for Chambers at 8:30 p.m. Thursday, March 5th, in front of the coffee shop at 323 South Avenue. Spread the word and come pay your respects if you are able, a Mudhouse employee wrote on a social media post announcing the vigil. No one deserves to die this way. Let us come together as a community to show him he was a valued community member as a human being. The shooting happened just after 8 p.m. Friday, February 27th, near South and Walnut Street. Caden Burks, 22, is charged with the Class A felony of second-degree murder, 2 counts of armed criminal action, and the Class E felony of unlawful use of a weapon in Chambers' death. It was really, really sad, Ferentz said, adding that she was on the second floor of the building when the shots rang out. At first, she feared someone had been shot inside the coffee shop. She now knows that the shooter was standing right in front of the coffee shop, and Chambers was just a few feet to the south in front of Great Southern Bank. Chambers was a known entity at Mudhouse. Chambers is from North Carolina, but had been unsheltered in Springfield for some time. Ferentz said Chambers had been a known entity at the coffee shop for a long time. With the unhoused population, obviously, a lot of times we're dealing with mental illness, and he was definitely in that category, she said. But we treat all people the same here at Mudhouse, so we spoke to him just as we would speak to any other customer or person visiting the building. Following the shooting, Ferentz saw a social media post made by Chambers' brother, who still lives in North Carolina. Asked if she wanted to say anything to Chambers' family, Ferentz said yes. We did our best to be kind to him and to provide him with what we can, she said. We are in a business, so we can't give things away constantly, but we definitely gave of ourselves to him. We are so very sorry this happened, and I wish they had reconnected while he was still with us. He mattered. We all matter. And he certainly had kindness about him, she said. He was clearly a person who needed help and support, and it's unfortunate that we can't give that to everybody. Ferentz went on to encourage the community to keep in mind when interacting with the unsheltered community that these people are human beings and they matter and they have families. I think too often we just see them as a thing that is part of our city, and that is not at all the case. Just remember that these are people who are suffering from an illness of some kind, and the best thing we can all do is be kind. Amari Stout, who works downtown at High Tide Theatrical, got to know Chambers. She described him as an intelligent man who is also a talented artist and regularly shared and sold his artwork. Stout said Chambers kept to himself and his mental health struggles could impact how he was perceived, but he was a kind person. Our community knew him, Stout said. He was visible, and despite that visibility, he was left to navigate his illness largely alone. In many ways, our system failed him. He should still be here. According to the probable cause statement, several people witnessed the shooting. One witness saw Burks hide the gun, so a witness pretended to be armed and detained Burks until officers arrived. Burks allegedly told police it was his gun and admitted to shooting Chambers. The officer who interviewed Burks wrote that Burks provided extensive details about the incident, but couldn't explain why he had pulled out his gun and pointed it at Chambers. According to the statement, Burks told officers Chambers had not threatened him in any way. They had walked past each other on the sidewalk a short time before and made eye contact, the officer wrote. Burks said he had a bad feeling, but there was no other interaction between them. The suspected shooter allegedly described a brief conversation between him and Chambers, but they did not argue or threaten each other, according to the statement. Burks could not explain to me why he had done this, other than his feelings that Chambers was going to do something to him, the officer wrote. There had been no outward indication by Chambers of any threat of violence or aggression. Those charging documents were not yet publicly available when Ferentz, the manager of the coffee shop, spoke to the Daily Citizen on Monday, March 2nd. At that time, little was known about what led up to the shooting. For my own sanity and emotional state, I wish that I knew it wasn't random, but, who knows? Ferentz described Chambers as a very large man. Not just tall, but also, he was a very large man, she said, adding that Chambers would sometimes get loud due to his mental health struggles. Because of his stature, I'm sure that people perceived him as aggressive, although he was not, Ferentz said of Chambers. According to the jail website, Burks is 6'3" and weighs 225 pounds. Daily Citizen managing editor Harrison Keegan contributed to this report. Jackie Rewald is a reporter for the Springfield Daily Citizen. She covers public safety, the courts, homelessness, domestic violence, and other social issues. Her office line is 417-837-3659.
And some additional holidays today include National Day of Unplugging, National Dentist's Day, National Frozen Food Day, National White Chocolate Cheesecake Day, and National Oreo Cookie Day. And speaking of desserts, here's the story behind Kyle Davis's beloved milk and honey dessert. From Katie Pollock Estes at 417 Magazine, we learned some desserts are legendary. So legendary, in fact, that they outlive the businesses where they were created and take their lore with them. That's the case with the milk and honey dessert, originally served at Progress. Before that, Springfield restaurant closed. This combination of a thick milk jam, honey semifreddo, and crunchy streusel was perfection. From its balanced flavors to its expert execution that comes together so seamlessly it could be mistaken for simplicity. Customers still love milk and honey even post-Progress, though. They craved it, in fact, and then it made a comeback. That's because one of its creators, Kyle Davis, never stopped slinging sweets. Last April, he and his team opened Buttermilk in the space at 1458 East Cherry Street in the Roundtree neighborhood and started selling creative flavors of homemade and hand-scooped ice cream via a cute little walk-up window. In the months since, his pastries and desserts, including the beloved milk and honey, have shown up all over town, from local coffee shops to chic supper clubs. Davis has his eyes on even more expansion down the road. We set our standards high, and the goal is to live up to those standards in everything we do, Davis says. That means always striving to be the best they can, from great service to excellent made-from-scratch products, ice cream included. Creation doesn't happen in a vacuum, though. Davis's wife Autumn and their 14-year-old Charlotte and Callie are his taste testers, and the kids don't hold back. They are such a good litmus test for if something is going to work, Davis says. They're not shy about saying, "This stinks." Maybe they're my toughest critics. When I give them something and they go crazy for it, I know I have something good on my hands. Following is a photo of the milk and honey dessert being held in someone's hands. It's covered in a nice brown sugar coating. Looks delicious. Davis, a Springfield native, has a long history in the city's food scene. He says he was always an art kid, focusing on music, drawing, and painting. At Missouri State University, he was a photography major. To pay the bills, he began taking jobs at local restaurants like T-Bar and Bites, his first food-related job, and Big Whiskey's, and he found that he was good at it. His path to baking began at the Relics Antique Mall Tea Room, and his creativity really took off while working for Patty Wingo at her catering company, Simply Delicious. Patty was the best boss I've ever had, Davis says. She's so great about letting people's passions go wild. He says Wingo never liked to say no to customers, so if they requested something, she and her team would make it happen. That led to Davis learning the techniques needed to make macarons, tarts, and more. Later, when he became the pastry chef at Progress, David had the freedom to explore his passion for baking and express himself on the plate through desserts that looked like visual art. Now, Buttermilk has found a home in the Roundtree neighborhood at a bustling intersection known for unique restaurants and creative shops, a perfect fit. The sweet shop has been embraced by the neighborhood, with visitors popping in to try the tried-and-true ice cream flavors, vanilla, chocolate, espresso, and buttermilk, of course, and the rotating options. But not every special release has been a hit. One that Davis thought would make waves was a pawpaw sorbet, which used the tropical-esque pawpaw fruit that's native to Missouri but rarely seen on restaurant menus. The shop offers free samples, and a group of kids walked up and asked to try the pawpaw sorbet, and their faces gave them away. They basically spit it out, Davis says with a laugh. It was my mistake. I didn't pair it with anything. That would have made it more successful. Pawpaws may not be a familiar flavor for the average kid, and you have to take risks every now and then, right? In fact, Davis says vinegar is one of the unsung heroes in a modern food world, and he might even play with adding it to ice cream one day, paired perhaps with a fruit or a nut. We'll be there when he does, ready to give it a try, and we'll order a milk and honey while we're at it too. And where can you find Kyle Davis's products? You can find his buttermilk, hand-scooped ice cream, milk and honeys, pastries, cake by the slice, and occasional pop-up events with special treats like shoe buns. You can find his milk and honey at the Royal, cake and pastries on Saturday and Sunday at the Kingdom Coffee Lone Pine Avenue location, ice cream sandwiches at Holdfast Brewery, ice cream pie, that's one of their top sellers, Davis says, at Cellar and Plate. The headquarters, desserts and bread at the monthly supper club events at Good Spirits & Co. And ice cream at Before and After Brewing.
From the Springfield News-Leader, Missouri Senator revives personhood amendment criminalizing abortion. Wes Groggins didn't mince words when he testified to a Missouri Senate committee Monday, March 2nd, in support of legislation of expanding legal protection for embryos. The executive director of Abolish Abortion Missouri invoked the Bible's Old Testament in his justification that anyone who has an abortion or assists someone in accessing an abortion should be charged with murder. God demands equal justice, he said, equal protection for all persons. For the second year in a row, State Senator Mike Moon, an Ash Grove Republican, is sponsoring a proposed constitutional amendment that would define person as including every human being with a unique DNA code regardless of age, including every in utero human child at every stage of biological development from the moment of conception until birth. This approach to both criminalizing women who have abortions and forcing women who've been raped to continue pregnancy has been increasingly unpopular among Missouri Republican leadership in recent years. Notably, none of the state's leading anti-abortion groups testified on behalf of the legislation March 2nd. We are certainly at a political divide, Moon told the Senate Emerging Issues and Professional Registration Committee on Monday. It appears we are also at a scientific divide and also a spiritual divide. While Moon's legislation faces long odds to land on the ballot, it does shed light on an ongoing debate among anti-abortion advocates over what abortion exceptions are justifiable after Missourians overturned the state's near-total abortion ban in November 2024. Some are saying that we are doing our best to save the children, especially the preborn children, but I ask you this question: how can we make that claim if we haven't taken all the steps we can possibly take to make that happen? Moon said Monday. Will this committee determine that we've already done as much as we can do, or will you endeavor to do even more? More than 20 people testified in support of the legislation, driving from all corners of the state to condemn abortion in any form. One man used his time before the microphone to sing Amazing Grace to the committee. Another emphasized that everyone in the room already survived the thought of abortion by being born. Multiple photos were shown of embryos, their names told to committee members by those testifying in support of their rights. Moon's amendment would create a total abortion ban and criminalize anyone involved in an abortion, from the providers to the person ending their pregnancy. Those also found guilty of murder in Missouri can face the death penalty. Last year, Moon stepped down from the Senate Families, Seniors, and Health Committee after he said he couldn't support a proposed abortion ban amendment that included exceptions for survivors, but that didn't want to block the amendment from moving forward. The legislature went on to approve similar proposed amendment for the ballot. As a result, Missourians will be asked again to weigh in on abortion this November. The measure would reinstate an abortion ban, but this time adding exceptions for rape and incest survivors in addition to exceptions for medical emergencies. It would enshrine an existing banned gender-affirming health care for minors in the Constitution and allow abortions during an ectopic pregnancy. We're in a precarious situation in our state, Moon told the committee, because while the state law defines life as beginning at conception, the state constitution protects abortion access up until the point of fetal viability. Under the Reproductive Freedom Amendment approved by about 52% of Missourians in 2024. State Senator Tracy McCreary, a Kirkwood Democrat, raised concerns at Monday's hearing about how Moon's proposed amendment could threaten the legality of in vitro fertilization in Missouri. Through the IVF process, a woman's eggs are retrieved from her body and then fertilized with sperm in a laboratory. Any embryos that result can be either transferred to her uterus or frozen for future use. McCreary referenced the confusion that played out in Alabama 2 years ago when its state Supreme Court ruled that frozen fertilized embryos are children. IVF procedures temporarily came to a screeching halt, and families were left in limbo as clinics tried to determine whether they could be found liable for wrongful death if an embryo was destroyed. Your language is very troubling, and it doesn't just impact non-Christians, McCreary said after relaying a story from one of her constituents who underwent IVF. It impacts some very, very conservative families all around the state. I don't believe in coincidence, Moon said, adding that he plans to submit a committee substitute that would address her concerns. So you are okay then with families using fertility treatments? She asked. Mm-hmm, Moon said. State Senator Patty Lewis, a Kansas City Democrat, said she wasn't sure Moon's answer was reassuring, considering not every embryo that's created ends up being implanted. Hannah Streege, 27, joined her parents, Marlene and John Streege, in testifying in support of the proposal. Hannah said she was the first frozen embryo to be adopted in the United States and then born. When my parents adopted me and my 19 siblings, we had already existed for nearly 3 years, not in a nursery, not in a home, not in storage, biologically human, yet treated under property law, said Streege, whose parents, for decades, have advocated against abortion and embryonic stem cell research. Sarah Hanks, a mother of 10 who gave birth to one of her daughters as the result of an embryo adoption, also testified in support. We valued her so much, she said, that we paid $18,000 for this whole adoption process, and we did it because we believed that her life was precious and that she deserved to be valued. Doug Mann, with Planned Parenthood Great Rivers Action, was among a handful of people to testify against Monday's legislation. The proposal, he argued, does not follow the science, nor does it follow medical standards, and it's going to cause a lot of issues outside of abortion. This story was first published at MissouriIndependent.com.
And some famous birthdays today include director Rob Reiner, who passed away last year, pop singer Felicia Barton, who turns 44, rapper Tyler, the Creator, who turns 35 today. Civil rights leader Harriet Tubman was born on this day in history in 1820. And American basketball player Shaquille O'Neal turns 54 today. Happy birthday, Shaq. Speaking of basketball, here are 18 Southwest Missouri names to follow heading into March Madness. From Ryan Collingwood at the Springfield Daily Citizen, we learned that March Madness is here. Conference tournaments are underway this week, many featuring former Southwest Missouri high school hoop standouts who made their way onto Division I men's and women's basketball rosters across the country. Before you fill out your brackets on Selection Sunday, which is coming up on March 15th, see if any of these 18 names have punched their ticket to college basketball's grandest stage. In the women's category, we have Bella Fauntleroy, a Baylor forward. Fauntleroy's decorated career at Baylor is nearing its conclusion. The former Kickapoo star and all Big 12 talent is averaging 9.3 points and 5.7 rebounds for 20th-ranked Bears, 24-7, the number 3 seed in this week's Big 12 tournament at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. Cayman Beckmeyer from Missouri State, the former Republic star, is having a mammoth junior season, leading Conference USA in scoring at 17.4 points per game, while ranking number 7 in rebounding at 8.1 per game. The 4-time CUSA Player of the Week leads a Lady Bears team at 18-11 and 10-6 CUSA in contention for a number 2 seed in next week's CUSA tournament in Huntsville, Alabama. Ashton Judd in Texas. After 3 productive seasons at Mizzou and more than 1,000 points, the 2022 Class 5 Player of the Year from West Plains joined one of the college basketball's most recognizable brands. Judd comes off the bench as a senior for the 4th-ranked Longhorns, who are 28-3, averaging 5.1 points and 2.9 rebounds. Judd missed the first 12 games of the season with a knee injury for Texas, the number 3 seed in this week's SEC tournament in Greenville, South Carolina. India Green in Southern Illinois. After stops at Missouri State and Georgia Southern, Green, a Kickapoo alum, is averaging 12.9 points and 8.8 rebounds in her graduate senior season at Southern Illinois, who are 9-19, which enters next week's Missouri Valley Conference tournament at Extreme Arena in Coralville, Iowa. Reagan McCowan from Western Illinois. The 2-time All-Ohio Valley Conference selection appeared to be on her way for a three-peat after averaging 17 points and 6.4 rebounds through the first 10 games, but McCowan, a Lebanon alum, suffered a dislocated elbow in December and hasn't played in a game since. The Leathernecks, at 24-5, went on to share the Ohio Valley Conference regular season title and take a number 1 seed into the OVC tournament in Evansville, Indiana. Nora Clark, UT Martin, A junior from Nixa has started more than 50 career games for the Skyhawks, whose season ended with a 13-17 mark after falling to SIU Edwardsville on Wednesday in the first round of the Ohio Valley Conference Tournament. She averaged 6.7 points and 2.7 rebounds this season. Molly Miller, Arizona State head coach. After leading Grand Canyon to the NCAA tournament in a 33-game win streak a season ago, Miller, both a Kickapoo and Drury alum, has since moved her office east of Phoenix to Tempe, where Arizona State is having its winningest season since 2016. The 10th-seeded Sun Devils, who are 23-9, will likely need a big Deep 12 tournament run at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City to get an at-large bid into the NCAA tournament, as they're currently listed as first four out in ESPN's bracketology. Hannah Hayden, Georgia Southern head coach. In her second season as GSU's head coach, Hayden, a former Kickapoo guard, led the Eagles to a Sun Belt Conference title, the program's first championship in 25 years. She earned Sun Belt Conference Coach of the Year honors 2 years after earning a WBCA NCAA Division II Coach of the Year for her success at Georgia Southwest State. Georgia Southern, who is 26-6, or 16-2 in the SBC, takes the number 1 seed into the SBC tournament this week. Heather Ezell, Wyoming head coach. After averaging 20 wins for her first 3 seasons as Wyoming's head coach, Ezell's Cowgirls, who are 10-19 or 7-12 in Mountain West, are likely going to finish with a losing record in year 4. The former Kickapoo and Iowa State sharpshooter enters the Mountain West Conference tournament that begins March 7th in Las Vegas. On the men's side, we have Cale Combs from Iowa. Combs, a Nixa alum, and head coach Ben McCollum helped Drake win an MVC title and upset Mizzou in last year's NCAA tournament. When McCollum accepted the same position at Iowa, Combs followed. The defensive-minded guard has started 25 games and averages 5.8 points for the Hawkeyes, who are 20-9, predicted as a number 9 seed in the upcoming NCAA tournament per bracketology. The Big Ten tournament takes place March 10th to 15th at United Center in Chicago. Trevon Brazil, Arkansas, the 6'10" senior forward and Kickapoo alum, is having his most productive collegiate season, averaging 12.4 points and 7.1 rebounds, with 44 blocks for John Calipari's Razorbacks. Arkansas, at 22-8, is ranked number 20 in the latest Associated Press poll and begins its postseason next week at the SEC tournament in Nashville. Braden Shorter at Murray State. After starring 2 seasons at NCAA Division II Washburn, Shorter, Kickapoo alum, made the move to Missouri Valley Conference's Murray State last summer. The 6'5" shooting guard averages 5.9 points off the bench for the Racers, who are 20-11, the number 4 seed this week's MVC tournament at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis. Anton Brookshire at Austin Peay. In a turnaround season for the Governors, who are 21-8, Brookshire, a senior starting guard and Kickapoo alum, is averaging 8.3 points and 2.7 assists per game. Austin Peay, coached by former Missouri State assistant Corey Gibson, earned a number 2 seed for this week's Atlantic Sun Conference tournament in Jacksonville, Florida. Terrell Gaines at Austin Peay. The former Mountain View Liberty Star has appeared in 5 games in his sophomore season, averaging 1.8 points per game. Gaines appeared in 18 games as a freshman for the Governors, who are 21-8, averaging 5.2 minutes a game. All right, Xavier. After starting as a freshman at Valparaiso a year ago, Wright made the move to NCAA tournament regular Xavier, which is having an unusually down season at 14-16 under first-year head coach Richard Pitino. Wright, who played for the Springfield-based AAU program Yanders Law, Link Academy in Branson, and Joplin High, has started all season averaging 7.7 points. The Musketeers begin the Big East tournament next week at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Always Wright, UTRGV. A transfer from Rhode Island, Wright, who played for the Springfield-based Yanders Law AAU program and Joplin High School, has registered 12 starts this season for Texas at Rio Grande Valley, 18-13 or 14-8 Southland. He averages 3.1 points and 2 assists per game for UTRGV, the number 3 seed in next week's Southland Conference tournament in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Kyle Pock, Northern Iowa. Pock, Bolivar alum, is coming off the bench for the Panthers, who are 19-11, averaging 4.1 points and 1.1 rebounds per game in his junior season. Northern Iowa enters this week's MVC tournament in St. Louis as a number 6 seed. And finally, we have Tyreek Brooks at Missouri State. A year after a stellar true freshman season at NCAA Division II Missouri Southern, Brooks returned to Springfield, where he helped Central High place third at 2024 Class 6 state tournament. Brooks is averaging 7.8 minutes and 2.1 points for the Division I Bears, who are 13-16, who enter next week's Conference USA tournament in Huntsville, Alabama.
From the Springfield Daily Citizen, property owner sues dive bar 66 Kicks, alleging $50,000 in unpaid rent. The owner of the property that houses 66 Kicks, it's K-I-X, 66 Kicks in Springfield, has filed a suit against the business owners alleging the company owes more than $50,000 in rent payments. KPAC registered LLLP owns the property that houses 66 Kicks at 1816 South Glenstone Avenue inside the Plaza Shopping Center, according to the civil lawsuit filed in the Circuit Court of Greene County on March 3rd. The lawsuit says 66 Kicks entered a commercial lease agreement with KPAC on December 1st, 2024. The lawsuit alleges 66 Kicks has not made a rent payment since March of 2025, with a monthly base rent of $4,375. The total amount owed is $50,055 plus late fees, according to the lawsuit. Joe Zayak and wife and business partner Heather Hinkie said they purchased the 66 Kicks in November of 2024, according to a previous Daily Citizen reporting. At that time, Zayak said the company purchased the bar from Stephen Bishop but declined to disclose the financial terms of the acquisition. 66 Kicks opened in the Plaza Shopping Center in January of 2024. When reached by telephone March 4th, Zayak declined to comment on the lawsuit. On March 5th, 66 Kicks posted a statement on its Facebook page in regards to a situation that has recently come to our attention regarding some unfortunate information being shared about 66 Kicks. We understand that things can sometimes be misunderstood or misrepresented, and we want our community to know that we are currently working directly with all parties involved to get the matter clarified and resolved, the company said in the post. At this time, we are also reviewing the situation carefully, as some of the statements being circulated may be inaccurate and potentially defamatory toward both our business and those who operate it. We will continue to address the matter through proper channels. KPAC is seeking immediate possession of the property and recovery of the past due rent, according to the lawsuit. The property owner is also seeking attorney's fees and expenses. KPAC is listed as the plaintiff in the suit, with 66 Kicks LLC, Heather Hinkie, Joseph Zayak, and Stephen Bishop listed as defendants. KPAC is represented by James Meadows of Carnahan Evans. As of March 4th, online court records did not list attorneys as representing the defendants. Judge Josephine Stockard has been assigned to the case. A hearing is scheduled for April 1st, 2026, according to court records. Hinkie and Zayak opened the Vault Bar and Restaurant in downtown Springfield in late 2023. In July of 2025, the couple closed the Vault as the owners looked to sell the company, according to a previous Daily Citizen reporting. Zayak cited hard economic conditions and increasing safety concerns downtown as the motivating factors for closing the Vault. Note, this story has been updated to include part of a statement that 66 Kicks posted to its Facebook page on March 5th. Ryan Collins is the business and economic development reporter for the Springfield Daily Citizen. Collins graduated from Glendale High School in 2011 before studying journalism and economics at the University of Missouri-Columbia. He previously worked for Bloomberg News. You can contact him at 417-849-2570 or rcollins@sgfcitizen.org. Thank you for listening to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. Come by and see us in person with daily deals at 2713 North Kansas Expressway in Springfield, Missouri. Veterans receive a 25% discount every day, providing significant savings as a token of appreciation for their service. Additionally, the store features a weekly clothing sale where all clothing items are available at 50% off every Wednesday. Seniors aged 55 and older benefit from a 25% discount every Tuesday, making shopping more affordable to the senior community.
Yes. Speaking of the Blind Community Thrift Store and thrift stores in general, here's where to get rid of everything. If you're looking to streamline and declutter your home this spring, we found some local organizations where you can donate or recycle furniture, clothing, accessories, and other home goods so you can make the most of your remodel and help 417 landers in need. Alyssa Rooney and 417 Magazine tell us whether you're looking to get new living room furniture or you're completely remodeling your entire home, we have some great news. You don't have to just throw away all those old clothes, appliances, furniture, and other items that could otherwise go to a good home. We found local organizations where you can donate furniture, accessories, and other home goods so you can make the most of your spring cleaning and help those in Southwest Missouri who are in need. First up, we have Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Ozarks, located 3372 West Battlefield Road. Their phone number is 417-889-9136. Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Ozarks organization pairs kids with adult mentors for a year or more and collects clothing and household items through its Think Big Foundation. Items are shipped and resold worldwide, the proceeds of which benefit BBBS. They accept clothing, including jackets and shoes. You can visit the donation section of the website to see what all they accept. And to donate, simply put your items in the bright purple donation station bins located throughout Springfield, primarily in Price Cutter parking lots. The Ronald McDonald House Charities of the Ozarks can be contacted at 417-875-3505. The Ronald McDonald House Charities creates and supports programs that benefit the health and well-being of children in the Ozarks, specifically specializing in providing home environments for families of children hospitalized far from home. They accept new household items such as laundry baskets, white queen-size fleece blankets, white queen-size fitted and flat sheets, and other miscellaneous household supplies. See the wish list on their website for a complete list of accepted items. To donate, drop off items at the Ronald McDonald House near Cox South at 949 East Primrose Street in Springfield between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. any day. The Kitchen Inc. at 730 North Glenstone Avenue is reachable at 417-837-1500. Their focus is securing housing and bringing stability to people who are homeless. They accept 30-day bus pass booklets, toilet paper, hot hands, pop-top canned food items, specifically foods with protein, furniture and household items such as couches, bed frames, and coffee tables, and you can visit their website for a complete list of needed items. For large item donations, contact the kitchen at 417-837-1500. Other donations can be dropped off at Rare Breed Youth Services at 301 North Main Street in Springfield between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. on weekdays. The Plaid Door Resale Boutique at 1740 South Glenstone Avenue, Suite Q, is reachable at 417-887-9422. This is run by the Junior League of Springfield, Missouri. It's an upscale resale shop specializing in high-quality women's and men's clothing and accessories. You can donate those by heading to the Plaid Door Resale Boutique on the second Saturday of every month from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Harmony House gives shelter, education, and safety to domestic violence survivors and their families, and donations go to residents as they rebuild their lives. They're located at 3404 East Ridgeview Street in Springfield and reachable at 417-837-7700. They accept household items including laundry pods and bath towels, toiletries, children's items, excluding toys and children's books. You can find a complete donation list on their website. You can donate between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at Harmony House with an appointment. Call 417-837-7700 for more information. Here at the Blind Community Thrift Store at 2713 North Kansas Expressway, we can be reached at 417-831-7600. 100% of proceeds from the Blind Community Thrift Store go toward providing adaptive technology for the blind and visually impaired. Furniture is accepted, minus box springs and mattresses, along with appliances, desks, electronics, televisions, computers, curtains, kitchen items, and more. You can visit our website for a complete list. You can donate by dropping off items from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday at the Blind Community Thrift Store, again located at 2713 North Kansas Expressway. Isabel's House at 2750 West Bennett Street in Springfield can be reached at 417-865-2273. Isabel's House organization provides shelter for individuals 12 years old and younger whose parents are temporarily unable to provide adequate care. They accept new clothing, large reusable bags and totes, and stress balls. For a complete list, visit their website. For large donations, schedule an appointment at 417-865-2273. All other donations can be dropped off at Isabel's house 24/7 at 2750 West Bennett Street. Habitat for Humanity helps low-income families by building and repairing their homes, and donations go toward renovating and refurbishing homes. The Restore accepts building materials, furniture, appliances, light fixtures, and other home goods in good working condition. You can drop off donations at the receiving dock on the east side of the warehouse during business hours, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. The organization offers free pickup services in the greater Springfield area Monday through Friday. You can call 417-829-4001 to schedule a pickup or drop off those donations at 2410 South Scenic Avenue. Complete Electronics Recycling is an organization that ensures electronics are recycled in a safe and environmentally sound way. They accept TVs, computers, computer equipment, batteries, audio and video equipment, cell phones, paper, and more. For a complete list, visit their website. You can donate items by requesting a pickup through the website or drop off materials during operating hours Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 2935 West Chestnut Expressway, or reach them by phone at 417-864-4415. The Red Racks Disabled American Veterans Thrift Store is owned by Missouri's Disabled American Veterans. They accept clothing, shoes, home decor, working electronics that are 2 years old or newer, small appliances, flat screen TVs, and furniture. You can schedule a donation pickup by calling 417-889-6200 or bring donations to a Red Rack store or DAV green donation bin. The Salvation Army is an international charity affiliated with the Universal Christian Church that locally assists those in need. The Springfield facility offers senior services, disaster services, hunger services, and more. They accept clothing, furniture, cars, TVs, and appliances. You can call the location ahead of time to ensure that the items will be accepted. The Springfield store, located at 1737 South Campbell Avenue, is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. For vehicle donations, you can call 417-862-5509 or otherwise reach them at 417-866-9426. Sammy's Window, or Foster Adopt Connect, is a program run that provides foster parents with free clothing items and toys to help manage expenses not covered by stipends. They accept gently used or new children's and teens' clothes, including athletic shoes, new socks, underwear and bras, hygiene items, including diapers and pull-ups and food items. You can call the building ahead of time to drop off. They are available Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at 509 South Cavalier Avenue and can be reached by phone at 417-866-3672. Finally, Help Give Hope at 2809 North Cedarbrook Avenue is a local charity that has since expanded its original mission of spreading Christmas joy to families in need to providing year-round support with donated goods. They accept appliances and clothing. As a note, Help Give Hope no longer accepts box TVs, commercial office desks, entertainment centers, sinks, toilets, beds, mattresses, or armoires. You can donate by calling Help Give Hope to confirm the working condition of appliances and arrange for pickup at 417-209-7027.
From the Springfield Business Journal, Republicans push forward with a proposal to replace Missouri income tax with sales tax by Rudy Keller, the Missouri Independent, posted online March 5th, 2026. The proposal to eliminate the state income tax is moving to the Missouri House floor following a party line committee vote Wednesday. The 7-3 vote on Republican Governor Mike Kehoe's top priority followed a heated discussion where Democrats on the House Commerce Committee argued where Democrats on the House Commerce Committee accused Republicans of steering the state into a fiscally dangerous future. "You don't turn an economy around on a dime," said State Representative Steve Butts, a St. Louis Democrat. "If there's a mistake made either by the public or by this legislature, and surely we have enough examples of the legislature making plenty of mistakes, we're not going to be able to react quickly enough to offset that." Republicans, in response, said Missouri is losing out to states like Tennessee and Florida that have no income tax. Eliminating the tax would put each taxpayer in charge of whether they want to spend their money on taxable goods and services or use it elsewhere, they said. We can see what's happening in other states, said State Representative Brian Seitz, a Republican from Branson. It's affected them in a very positive manner, people are saying. People are staying. The states are being built and rebuilt. Industries are coming in, and we want to have a piece of that pie. As originally filed, the proposed constitutional amendment would ask voters to give lawmakers broad authority to set up a new expanded sales tax system and use the revenue to reduce and then eliminate the state income tax. The committee passed a revised version Wednesday morning that sets revenue growth goals for reducing the top income rate, which is currently 4.7%. For each additional $20 million in revenue over the base year of fiscal year 2025, the top rate would be cut by 0.01 percentage points with a cap of 1.6 percentage point reduction in the top rate at any given year. To achieve the maximum reduction in a single year, revenue would have to grow by $3.2 billion from the expanded sales tax base. The tax would be eliminated when those reductions combine to lower the top rate to 1.4%. Missouri's personal income tax is almost flat, with the top rate applying to taxable incomes greater than $9,436. There are significant exemptions from the tax, including all Social Security payments, a share of retirement income, and capital gains, which are the profits from the sale of property or other assets. The income tax generated about 65% of the state's annual general revenue receipts in fiscal year 2025, which were $13.4 billion in the year that ended June 30th. The proposal, if passed by the General Assembly, would go on the ballot in August or November. It would give lawmakers 3 years to expand the sales tax to all goods and services and eliminate exemptions to raise enough revenue to replace the income tax without having to seek another statewide vote. The current state sales tax is 3% for general revenue plus 1.225% earmarked for public schools, conservation, state parks, and soil conservation. Local option sales tax is added to the 4.225% total, and there are more than 50 locations in the state where the total sales tax is 11% or higher. Matching the current revenue from the individual income tax without expanding the transactions that are taxed would require raising the state sales tax to nearly 13%. The proposal would allow sales tax on motor fuel for the first time. It would also exempt revenue from sales tax on fuel from a constitutional provision dedicating all taxes on gasoline and diesel to highway needs. Missourians will reject the plan, Democrats said during a committee debate. They're already worried about the current budget and the cost of living, State Representative Patty Mansour, a Kansas City Democrat. They're concerned about essential programs that are being cut now. The building has been full of people the last couple of weeks worrying about this. No one is asking for the elimination of state income tax. Republicans responded by saying the proposal will test what voters want and make the legislature conform to that. This really does nothing but go to the voters and say, do you want to change the system and try a new approach, said House Speaker John Patterson, a Republican from Lee's Summit, who is sponsoring the proposal. And there are plenty of people, he said, asking to eliminate the income tax. A lot of times they ask with their feet, Patterson said. They move, they go to different places, they might not ask, but they've told us what their answers are. This story was produced by the Missouri Independent and is published by SVJ with permission.
And the Springfield St. Patrick's Day Parade returns March 14th with a new route. Janice Reeser with the Springfield News-Leader says Springfield will celebrate St. Patrick's Day on March 14th with its traditional community parade. The 43rd annual Springfield St. Patrick's Day Parade will take place in downtown Springfield at 2 p.m., according to a community announcement. The parade route starts on South Avenue and Elm Street and moves towards the square, ending at Jefferson Avenue. To accommodate construction on Boonville Avenue, the parade route has been adjusted this year. Crystal Quaid, Executive Director for the Downtown Springfield Association, will serve as the parade's Grand Marshal. Quaid oversees the association's strategic direction, operations, and partnerships, working with the board, downtown stakeholders, and community leaders to enhance downtown Springfield. Leading up to the parade, a Grand Marshal meet and greet will be held from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Jefferson Avenue footbridge on historic Commercial Street. This event allows attendees to meet Quaid and enjoy punch card specials from C Street merchants. The parade will feature a variety of entries, and applications to participate are open until March 9th. That's just 3 days away. Entry fees are $40 for nonprofit organizations, $50 for commercial entries, and $100 for oversized entries. All fees will help cover the cost of organizing the parade. Following the parade, winners will be announced on the Park Central Square stage for categories such as Best Overall Entry, the Pot of Gold Award, Emerald Energy Award, and Community Spirit Award. Park Central Square will be active with entertainment and activities before and after the parade. The Finnegan's Wake Beer Garden will operate from noon to 6 p.m., offering beverages and food from local vendors. Family-friendly activities will include offerings from the Discovery Center, professional face painting, and balloon art. The parade is managed by the Downtown Springfield Association with support from Finnegan's Wake, PenMax Staffing, and the Downtown Community Improvement District. For more information, email Marilyn Glorfeld at marilyn@itsalldowntown.com or call the Downtown Springfield Association at 417-831-6200.
Nick's a woman charged with a DWI after she allegedly rear-ended an SPD officer. A Nixa woman is accused of driving drunk and crashing her vehicle into a Springfield police officer's patrol vehicle while the officer was stopped at a red light early Monday morning, March 2nd. Carrie Ann Hellman, born 2005, has been charged with the Class D felony of driving while intoxicated, causing injury to law enforcement. According to the probable cause statement, Hellman is not of legal age to drink alcohol, and her blood alcohol content was over twice the legal limit for someone who is of age. Online court records show a warrant was issued for her arrest on Wednesday, March 4th, but she did not appear in the Greene County Jail's online inmate roster. According to the statement, Hellman crashed into the officer's squad car while he was stopped at a red light. The officer hit his head, which caused swelling. The crash happened around 1:30 a.m. Monday at the intersection of West Sunshine Street and South Kansas Expressway. Responding officers noticed Hellman had an odor of alcohol, slurred speech, glassy eyes, and that she swayed while standing still, the statement says. Hellman denied drinking alcohol, but a blood test revealed her BAC was 0.194%, according to the statement. The statement says Hellman later admitted to drinking in the parking lot of Club Rodeo prior to the crash. The legal BAC limit in Missouri is 0.08 for drivers 21 and older. A stricter limit of 0.02 applies to minors under 21. This story is by Jackie Rewald. We are broadcasting live from the Blind Community Thrift Store, the world's first retail store to use NaviLens to help navigate and inform blind and visually impaired individuals while shopping with little to no assistance. For more information, visit our website at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com.
And here's how much Midwest gas prices changed from last week. The USA Today Network wrote this story, and it's brought to us by the Springfield News-Leader. Regional gas prices reached an average of $2.79 per gallon of regular fuel on Monday, up from last week's price of $2.68 per gallon, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. The average fuel price in the Midwest region rose about 14 cents since last month. According to the EIA, gas prices rose across the region in the last year, have been as low as $2.58 on January 5th, 2026, and as high as $3.10 on April 7th, 2025. A year ago, the average gas price in the Midwest region was 3% higher at $2.88 per gallon. The average gas price in the United States last week was $3.02, making prices in the Midwest region about 7.3% lower than the nation's average. The average national gas price is lower than last week's average of $2.94 per gallon. The U.S. Energy Information Administration's tally of prices in the Midwest states includes Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, and Wisconsin.
From OzarksFirst.com, today's weather forecast by Tom Schmidt. Today will feel like spring with temperatures in the 70s and 80s, a strong south wind, and plenty of mugginess. The springtime feel will come with a risk of springtime thunderstorms late this afternoon through tonight. We're watching 2 rounds of severe weather. The first round is late this afternoon in northwest Arkansas and southwest Missouri after 5 p.m. The second round is overnight tonight with a line of thunderstorms coming into Missouri out of east Kansas. Both rounds will pose a risk of damaging wind gusts and a couple of tornadoes. Round 1 details. Scattered storms will build northeast through the area Friday evening, especially along and south of I-44. The more scattered nature of the storms could enhance the severe weather potential. Large hail and a tornado are possible with thunderstorms in round 1. Round 2 details. A squall line will form in Kansas along a cold front and will blow into western Missouri tonight, possibly as late as midnight for the line to get here. Given the line structure of round 2, the main hazards are damaging wind gusts of 70 miles per hour and spin-up tornadoes embedded within the line. Round 2 will linger into early Saturday morning near Highway 63 and will mark the end of our severe weather threat once it passes. Quiet weather follows the front on Saturday, but it will be chillier as well with highs in the 50s. The back end of the weekend will feature sunny skies and highs near 70. The pattern reloads early next week with warm and windy weather on Monday, followed by another round of stormy weather Tuesday into Tuesday night. From the Springfield News-Leader. Drury's Kreider tapped for GLVC Baseball Player of the Week honors. From the Drury Athletics Communications Department, special to the News-Leader. Following a dominant performance at the plate that helped Drury baseball to a perfect 3-0 weekend, sophomore infielder Jackson Kreider was honored as the State Athletics Solutions Great Lakes Valley Conference Baseball Player of the Week on Monday, March 2nd. Kreider powered a potent Panther offense that swept the Drury Invitational field with 3 straight double-digit run totals to extend DU's win streak to 4 straight games. He hit .583, 7 for 12, with a home run and 8 RBIs, logging multiple hits in all 3 contests, while slugging .889 with an OPS of 1.556 to help DU rack up 42 runs on 46 hits for the week. The San Antonio, Texas product went a combined 5 for 7 with a key 3-run home run in 6 total RBIs in a pair of wins over GLVC foes. Kreider belted his first home run of the season and drove in 4 runs to help the Panthers topple preseason GLVC favorite UI Indy on Friday, February 27th, and added a 3-hit effort in a 17-6 run rule victory over Missouri S&T the following evening. He also logged a 2-hit day in Drury's win over Washburn on Saturday, February 28th. The honor is the first GLVC Player of the Week award for Kreider, a first-team preseason All-America selection. It also marks the 3rd weekly citation for a Panther this season, following the selections of Connor Bain and Coleman Morrison for the league's Player and Pitcher of the Week honors, respectively, on February 9th. Humphreys qualifies for NCAA Wrestling Championship in Edmond, Oklahoma. Drury's Bryson Humphreys qualified for the NCAA Division II National Championships after placing 3rd in the 125-pound bracket at the Super Region 4 Championships on Sunday, March 1st. Humphreys opened the day with a 7-0 decision over McKendree's Giovanni Diaz, followed by a tight 8-5 sudden victory decision against Karim Alal of Central Missouri. The sophomore fell in the semifinal round to number 11 Nathan Smith from Indianapolis in a 4-0 decision. Humphreys fought back with a 56-second fall against Thomas Moore's Trevor Wilcox to reach the 3rd-place match. The Owasso, Oklahoma native faced Alal for the second time and won by an 8-2 decision. Jeremiah Halter also earned a podium finish, defeating Quincy's McAllister Chamber in a 4-1 sudden victory decision to finish 5th at the 174 pounds, while Mason Knight placed 6th at 149 pounds.
And in breaking news out of Ozarks First, at least 1 person is dead in a fatal crash on US 65 in Christian County. Stoker Weiserek and Drew Tassett with Ozarks First state that a crash on US 65 in southern Christian County has left at least one person dead and caused some major slowdowns Friday morning. Traffic was backed up as the Missouri State Highway Patrol says this deadly crash involved 3 people just north of Saddlebrook. According to MSHP, the driver was apparently trying to avoid a slow-moving vehicle ahead, possibly after being distracted, when the vehicle veered off the right side of the road and collided with an embankment. Law enforcement officers say this is also a heartbreaking reminder of how fast a decision not to buckle up can turn deadly. This is yet another tragic example of not using a maximum of 3 seconds to buckle a seatbelt, said MSHP Sergeant Mike McClure. Right now, we're approaching statewide 100 fatalities, and we're looking at 68% of those fatalities were unbuckled. Officials have not yet disclosed the condition of those who survived the crash. Ozarks First will update this article when we receive more information. And in further public safety news, a Springfield man has been charged with statutory rape and is accused of getting a 12-year-old pregnant. From Jackie Rewald at the Springfield Daily Citizen, the Springfield man accused by federal prosecutors in 2024 of getting a 12-year-old girl pregnant is now also facing state charges. Brian Escobar Guarnizo, born in 1995, was charged in federal court in 2024 with sexual exploitation of a minor. He pleaded guilty to that charge on August 29, 2025. He remains in federal custody awaiting sentencing. In the meantime, Greene County prosecutors charged Escobar Guarnizo with first-degree statutory rape on February 23rd. Following is a booking photo of Escobar Guarnizo taken in 2024 by the Greene County Sheriff's Office. According to the probable cause statement, the victim's mother contacted the Greene County Sheriff's Office on September 22, 2024 to file a report because she discovered her 12-year-old daughter was pregnant by Escobar Guarnizo. According to the statement, the victim and her family made the decision to terminate the pregnancy. When the fetus was passed, it was collected by detectives and sent to Endeavor Laboratory for DNA testing. A DNA sample was also collected from the victim. Escobar Guarnizo was arrested on October 6, 2024. According to the probable cause statement, Escobar Guarnizo allegedly told the detective, "We only had sex one time," and that he had nude images of the victim on his phone. He also provided a DNA sample to detectives. According to the statement, the DNA results came back in 2025, showing Brian Escobar Guarnizo cannot be excluded as the biological father of her child. The probability of paternity is 99.999%.
From the Springfield News-Leader, Air and Military Museum of the Ozarks hosts Ken Bristow on March 14th. Ken Bristow, who as a young English boy grew up hiding in air raid shelters in World War II, will be the featured speaker March 14th at the Air and Military Museum of the Ozarks in Springfield. As the Royal Air Force Fighter Squadron was based just 10 miles from his home, Bristow will also recount watching many dogfights between the RAF Spitfires and German airplanes. In addition, Bristow will share stories of his service in the British Army in the early 1960s. As a bonus, he will display a sample of his lifelong passion, which he has commemorated many honor ceremonies, playing the bagpipe in a kilt to boot. The meeting will start at 10 a.m. at the AMMO Museum, 2305 East Kearney Street, with coffee and breakfast pastries served. The presentation is free and open to the public. For more information, call Sarah Keene at 417-323-1026. Landline does not accept texts.
And Cox Health transitions to a new health record vendor. Mike Cullinan, a reporter with the Springfield Business Journal, says that the start of March also signals the beginning of a new electronic health record vendor for Cox Health. Following a December 2023 announcement by the Springfield Health System, Cox Health partnered with Verona, Wisconsin-based healthcare software firm Epic Systems Corp. on the change to its health record system. Cox Health was set to go live with MyChart, Epic's patient portal, on March 1st. Cox Health leaders chose Epic after a selection process that included input from hundreds of providers and staff members, according to officials, who declined to disclose financial terms of the deal. The health record vendor change is one of the largest technology upgrades in Cox Health's history, said Randy Berger, Cox Health Administrative Director of Corporate Communications. Starting March 1st, people can expect a significantly improved patient experience, said Heather Swearingen, Vice President of Consumer Experience at Cox Health. MyChart really allows patients to have a lot more access at their fingertips, which we've not really had historically and has been demanded by our patients for a long time. While Cox Health officials were mum on the company's investment in transitioning to Epic, the dollar figure for other healthcare systems installing Epic's system across the country in recent years varied by tens of millions to hundreds of millions, according to trade magazine Becker's Hospital Review. Sign-ups for MyChart began February 16th, Swearingen said. Adding patients can do so either online or at coxhealth.com/MyChart or through the MyChart app available for Android and Apple devices. In MyChart, patients can schedule, change or cancel appointments, review lab results, view and request medication refills, manage accounts, and pay bills, among other features. They'll be able to complete questionnaires or paperwork, things that we would normally ask for when they get here in person, Swearingen said. They'll be able to do that on their own before they get here. They can also arrange an urgent care or walk-in clinic visit. Prior to March 1st, Cox Health worked with Oracle, which offers an electronic medical records system formerly known as Cerner. Our current portal has really had limited ability for our patients to manage their care, so it's a much more expanded opportunity for them to do that, Swearingen said. Once we're live, if our patients are signed up for text notifications or email notifications, even if they don't have the app, they'll still be able to manage their care the same way through the links that we send them for notifications. Cox Health's transition to Epic follows Mercy Springfield communities, which switched to Epic in 2009 as part of a statewide adoption, according to Mercy's website. Additionally, Springfield-based Jordan Valley Health transitioned to Epic from NextGen in 2024, according to past Springfield Business Journal reporting. Jordan Valley officials commented on their move to Epic in a statement. Our move to Epic strengthened our foundation for delivering exceptional patient care, said Dr. Nick Fanasteel, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer. With more integrated information and improved clinical workflows, our care teams can make faster, more informed decisions. That translates directly into a better patient experience and reinforces our commitment to delivering safe, high-quality care for our community now and for years to come. The input by Cox Health staff was an integral part of what Swearingen termed a thoughtful process to determine Epic was the right choice to support the health system's needs. We're always looking for how do we modernize our technology to deliver the very best experiences, both for our patients and for our caregivers who provide care. So with that in mind, we evaluated our current health record partner along with Epic through a multitude of lenses, she said. Through all of those lenses, it was just pretty clear that Epic is really considered the best electronic health record in the country. I think they have the ability to provide the tools that we need to elevate what we're doing. Swearingen said Cox Health needs to be thinking years ahead for its instruments to meet the needs of patients. Part of the time was spent conducting a system-wide evaluation to get input from all of our stakeholders, our physicians, our nurses, our operational teams, even patient feedback of what we need to really continue providing exceptional care, not just today, but in the future, she said. A change of this magnitude required a lot of planning, Swearingen said, as to why a 2-year runway was necessary for system-wide implementation. Officials were unable to provide the number of Cox Health employees working on the Epic transition teams by press time. It's not just designing what we're going to have with Epic, but making sure that we focus heavily on our training and practice environments for our teams and go-live support, she said. It's a pretty extensive planning process to make sure we're educating everybody and make this transition as seamless as possible. Cox Health officials said some of its online features were temporarily limited in the weeks leading up to the go-live date for MyChart. That included a pause beginning February 9th to online appointment bookings through its provider directory until the planned March 1st launch. Additionally, requesting prescription refills were temporarily unavailable as of February 22nd until March 1st. Beyond Springfield, Epic was targeted by the state of Texas as the company is accused in an antitrust lawsuit filed in December 2025. The state alleges the medical records company holds a monopoly and is engaged in anti-competitive practices. The lawsuit follows 2 other federal cases filed against the company over the past couple years. The Texas filing is aimed at Epic's market dominance by highlighting that its databases today house more than 325 million patient records, representing more than 90% of the U.S. population, according to the court document. However, the patient numbers noted in the lawsuit are disputed by Epic. A spokesperson for the company said MyChart is used by 195 million patients worldwide and by health systems in all 50 states. Regarding the Texas lawsuit, the company released a statement to SBJ. The action taken by Texas is flawed and misguided by its failure to understand both Epic's business model and position in the market, and the enormous contributions our company has made to our nation's healthcare system, illustrated by products like MyChart, software that tens of millions of Americans depend on every day. Every month, we improve quality of care by helping providers see a more comprehensive picture of their patient through over 725 million record exchanges, more than any other electronic health records vendor, and over half of these are with non-Epic systems. Health systems using Epic shared information with almost 1,000 patient-facing apps 2 billion times in the past year. As all of Springfield healthcare systems will now be using MyChart, Swearingen says she expects communication to be improved. There's definitely better information sharing across teams by using Epic, she said. The patient owns their medical record, and that's available to them to share. So as patients are coming to Cox Health, we'll be able to see care that they've had maybe provided elsewhere that we weren't able to see historically. While Swearingen said Cox Health is excited about the new patient portal, she recognizes there are some people who aren't comfortable with the technology or just don't use it for their healthcare needs. I don't want us to forget about those people, she said. We're still going to be here to help people face-to-face or over the phone for those people who maybe don't want to embrace the technology.
From the Springfield Daily Citizen, 2 project completions at MSU's Dar Agricultural Center to be dedicated on Saturday. A day for volunteer projects at Missouri State University's Dar Agricultural Center will also highlight 2 of its recently completed expansions. The university announced that it would highlight the Small Animal Education Center and Ag Innovation Hub during Dar Difference Day. A dedication ceremony is set for 9 a.m. Saturday, March 7th. Alongside the ceremony, volunteers are sought to help with a variety of tasks around the center, located at 2401 South Kansas Expressway. The center is a combined laboratory and field experience classroom for many of the university's agricultural programs. Volunteers are asked to check in at 8:15 a.m. this Saturday and can register in advance on a link here in the article. Opened in 2023, the Small Animal Education Center offers housing for adopted cats and dogs, treatment spaces for physical exams, a research lab, and teaching lab equipped with digital screens that can display microscopic views. Students use the space for learning low-stress handling techniques, including restraint and maintenance. Part of the funding came from a $6.5 million gift from William H. Dar and the Dar Family Foundation. The Ag Innovation Hub is another recent addition to the center. Funded with a $2 million grant from the state, the $4.1 million hub focuses on exposing ag students to the newest advances in agricultural technology, from mechanics to monitoring systems. Completed in 2024, it features a 3,800 square foot high bay shop that can house larger equipment. The shop also offers stations for woodworking and welding, as well as new classrooms, collaboration spaces, and storage. In addition to housing programs in the university's Dar College of Agriculture, the center also houses Springfield Public Schools Ag Academy, one of the district's magnet schools. It features a program for students in 4th to 6th grades to focus on agricultural sciences. Joe Hadsall is the education reporter for the Springfield Daily Citizen. Hadsall has more than 2 decades of experience reporting in the Ozarks with the Joplin Globe, Christian County Headliner News, and 417 Magazine. You can contact him at 417-837-3671 or jhadsall@sgfcitizen.org.
And out of national news from the Springfield News-Leader and James Powell with USA Today, a man faces animal cruelty charges after allegedly injuring a flamingo. In Las Vegas, a Canadian man faces multiple animal cruelty charges after he allegedly broke into the flamingo habitat at the Flamingo Resort on the Las Vegas Strip, took a bird back to his room, and injured it. Mitchell Fairbarn, 33, is charged with 4 counts of torturing, maiming, or killing an animal kept for companionship or pleasure, court records reviewed by USA Today show. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police said in an arrest report that Fairbarn entered the habitat around 5 a.m. local time on March 3rd and grabbed a bird, according to KLAS-TV. The station reported that officers alleged that he injured several other birds in the incident. Fairbarn told police, according to the report, that he entered the habitat because he saw a flamingo in distress, KNTV reported. He told police that he popped a flamingo's wing back into place, but the report states that he pulled the wing out of its body, according to the station. The report also states he chased and attempted to pin down a second bird, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. The newspaper reported that Fairbarn, who lives in Ontario, told police that he was too drunk to remember chasing the bird. Photos from the arrest report published by the Review-Journal show a shirtless man with a large tattoo across his back carrying a flamingo in an elevator and in the halls of the hotel. KLAS-TV reported that the police found photos and video of Fairbarn with the bird on his phone, including a video of him torturing it. A bloody feather was also found in his room, according to the station. Caesars Entertainment, the owner of the flamingo, identified the bird allegedly grabbed by Fairbarn as Peachy and said they are hopeful it will make a full recovery in a statement to USA Today. Our beloved birds, including Peachy, who was cruelly taken from the habitat, are currently in the care of dedicated veterinarians and our extraordinary flamingo animal care team, the statement said. Las Vegas Justice of the Peace Suzanne Baucom called the charges against Fairbarn extremely concerning in a March 4 bail hearing, according to the Review-Journal. She ordered Fairbarn to surrender his passport, stay away from the Strip, and submit to electronic monitoring, according to court records. Jail records indicate that he has been released after posting bond. Fairbarn's next court date is March 9th, according to the court record. USA Today has reached out to the lawyer listed as representing Fairbarn in the court record for comment, but has yet to receive a response.
From the Springfield News-Leader, Six Flags St. Louis and Worlds of Fun sold to a Missouri company. Six Flags is selling two of its Missouri theme parks, Six Flags St. Louis and Worlds of Fun in Kansas City. The North Carolina-based company announced in a news release on March 5th that it has agreed to sell 7 of its parks to EPR Properties for $331 million. Consistent with our strategy, this divestiture enables us to concentrate our capital, leadership, and operational focus on the properties that we believe can generate the strongest returns and offer the greatest long-term upside, Six Flags President and CEO John Riley said in a statement. What is EPR Properties, the new owner of 7 of Six Flags theme parks? EPR Properties is a Kansas City-based real estate investment trust that owns numerous parks and attractions around the U.S. and Canada. Its holdings include movie theaters, casinos, ski resorts, and museums. Six Flags has opened 6 parks that EPR Properties owned since 2018. Missouri residents may also know EPR Properties as the owner of City Museum in St. Louis. Six Flags says the sale is a move to strengthen its foundation, sharpen its focus, and support the company's long-term growth. The company has struggled to gain financial footing since merging with Cedar Fair in 2024. This sale will leave 34 parks under Six Flags flagship. The company says the move will put it in its best position yet to invest in new rides and attractions, improve infrastructure, and invest in new shows at its remaining parks. The next chapter isn't just about creating a more focused company, it's about unlocking our full potential and building a stronger Six Flags for our guests, our team members, and our communities, Six Flags posted on its official blog. Is Six Flags closing? What about Worlds of Fun? None of the parks are expected to close as a result of the sale. The 7 parks are expected to transition to the Enchanted Parks brand, but will continue using the Six Flags branding through 2026. We understand how meaningful these parks are to the communities they serve and to the guests who have grown up visiting them, Six Flags said. We are confident in the future of these parks under the care of EPR and its operating partners who have strong experience in managing parks of this scale. Which Six Flags parks are being sold? Aside from Worlds of Fun and Six Flags St. Louis, 5 other parks were sold off, including Michigan's Adventure in Grand Rapids, Schlitterbahn Water Park in Galveston in Texas, not to be confused with the one in New Braunfels, Valley Fair in Minneapolis, Six Flags Great Escape in Queensbury, New York, and Six Flags La Ronde in Montreal. Will season pass holders still be able to visit? Yes, Six Flags said all season passes and multi-park privileges will continue through the 2026 season.
The nonprofit Care to Learn is going to quadruple its space with a new Springfield headquarters. Ryan Collins and Joe Hatzall out of the Springfield Daily Citizen say that Care to Learn officials have found the unicorn they were hunting. After 3 years of strategic planning, envisioning, and hunting, the nonprofit on Thursday announced that it had found a perfect home for its headquarters. It has purchased an almost 20,000 square foot building located near Glenstone Avenue at 1730 East Portland Street. Real estate in this area is hard to come by, said Crystal Simon, CEO of Care to Learn, in an interview with the Daily Citizen. Knowing that we needed some office space, some storage space, volunteer space, and a whole lot of parking, I had said that we needed a unicorn. When we found that property in May, it was truly everything we wished for. In addition to the purchase, the nonprofit also launched a fundraising campaign to help raise money needed to finish the project. Launched in 2008, Care to Learn offers food, personal hygiene items, clothes, school supplies, and more to students in order to bolster academic success. It is one of the major sponsors and donors of Springfield Public Schools' annual Back to School Bash and is often called upon to handle emergency needs. In 2024, the organization was named as the winner of the Daily Citizen's Catalyst for Good Award. It was founded by Doug Pitt, who in January was named as the 2026 Springfieldian by the Springfield Area Chamber of Commerce. The nonprofit currently leases a 5,000 square foot building at 1047 South Glenstone Avenue. The new building will quadruple its space, allowing Care to Learn to maximize bulk deliveries and in-kind donations, as well as triple the number of volunteer opportunities. Simon said that the expansion would help Care to Learn transform into a regional hub. The organization partners with more than 50 school districts across Missouri, representing 130,000 students. In the past 4 years, the nonprofit has seen a 233% increase in student requests. Originally intended to be more of a fund-based group, Simon said that volunteers have latched on to its mission. The group has 9 full-time employees who work with about 3,600 volunteers a year. Those volunteers help organize donations, pack backpacks and groceries, fold clothes, and much more. The new building's additional space will enable it to accommodate more volunteers and more donations. Simon said the nonprofit has had to turn down some large donations from corporate partners because it didn't have the adequate space to store them. What we've realized is that our community really wants to engage with our mission, Simon said. So we wanted to create a space that allowed our volunteers to do just that. Pitt, in an interview Thursday with the Daily Citizen, said that he loves how the group has transformed into the type of agency in need of significant warehouse space. The reality is that we have always been in a triage mode, Pitt said. I had heard about needs going on just in Springfield Public Schools, and that was a big task just by itself. But we got our rhythm and realized we do health, hunger, and hygiene really well, so let's focus on that and keep those within our guardrails. I couldn't be more thrilled. What it has grown into is beyond my wildest dreams. With the expansion, Care to Learn has launched a new capital campaign to fund the new facility and future home of the organization. The campaign, Caring Starts Here, aims to raise $6.9 million, and the organization has already secured $5.74 million, according to the release. Funding was provided by a one-time $2.5 million grant from the state of Missouri, donations from Pitt and his wife, Lisa, the board of directors, and several other anonymous donors. Care to Learn has the opportunity to earn a $750,000 challenge grant from the Maybe Foundation, which will only be awarded once an additional $1.875 million is raised by January 13, 2027, according to the release. Pitt said the Portland building is in good shape and has passed several inspections for quality, adding to its unicorn status. It already has the zoning it needs for its operation, Pitt said. We got really lucky, and there is some divine intervention with just finding this building in the first place, Pitt said. It's in really good shape. We've hired every professional we can to do inspections, so we feel we have a really good grasp on where it's at. And I love the fact that even though it was never a school, it looks like a school. Paragon Architecture is the lead architect on Care to Learn's new facility, and the construction manager is Snyder Construction Group, according to the press release. The property was last sold in September 2025 and was appraised at $992,300, according to Greene County Assessor's Office records. The building's previous owner was Catholic Charities of Southern Missouri, now located at 424 East Monastery Street, near the intersection of Campbell and Republic Roads.
From the Springfield News-Leader, property tax caps on the April ballot in several counties worry some districts, by Marta Mees. At the April 7th election, voters in several southwest Missouri counties will be asked to weigh in on property tax caps created by state legislatures. As assessments and property tax bills have balloons, limiting how much property taxes can grow in the future could be enticing, but the constitutionality of the legislation has yet to be decided, and the tax freezes could have significant effects on the services property taxes fund. Last summer, Governor Mike Kehoe signed Senate Bill 3, a piece of legislation crafted in a special session that primarily aimed to keep the Kansas City Chiefs and Royals in the Show Me State. To win the necessary votes, the bill also included provisions to either freeze or cap real estate tax bills in most Missouri counties outside major metro areas. Despite multiple lawsuits filed questioning the constitutionality of the legislation, a Cole County Circuit judge denied a motion for summary judgment. That means that before a court decision is made, voters in 97 counties will vote whether to approve or reject the proposed caps. That property tax cap in SB 3 is split into two parts, with some of the affected counties labeled as 5% counties and others as 0% counties. In 5% counties, individual tax bills would be limited to increasing by 5% or the consumer price index each year, whichever is greater, while in 0% counties, property taxes would essentially be frozen. The tax liability paid in 2024 would be used as the base for these calculations per the legislation. In the Springfield area, voters in Christian, Lawrence, Ozark, Webster, and Taney counties will vote on a 0% increase, while those in Dallas and Polk counties are included as 5% counties. The larger, more urban areas of the state, including Greene County, were left out of the legislation altogether. While Stone County is also one of the 0% counties, presiding Commissioner Gordon Weathers confirmed to the News-Leader the commission did not vote to place the question on the April ballot due to pending legal challenges. Most counties include the following ballot language regarded in SB 3. Shall the county exempt eligible taxpayers from certain tax increases on eligible taxpayers' primary residence above the liability incurred during the initial credit year? Webster County, however, has included a longer worded question referencing SB 3 and the ongoing court challenges. Property taxes are the primary funding sources for a plethora of county services, including school districts, public libraries, fire protection districts, ambulance districts, services to support individuals with developmental disabilities, health departments, and county operations themselves. With the upcoming vote, these local districts are bracing for an unknown impact and an uncertain future. Lori Wilson, superintendent for the Ozarks School District, said that while some effect on taxing districts is inevitable, if tax caps were to pass, it is hard to nail down the scale of the impact due to how the legislation is set up and the difficulty in determining how many properties in each county would see their tax bills capped. The cap would only apply to a primary residence or homestead, not agricultural land, commercial property, or residential real property without a homestead. Since the tax freeze or cap would be calculated based on 2024 valuations, Wilson said that would cut revenue in the district where property taxes make up roughly 40% of the budget by roughly $1.8 million to $2.3 million right off the bat. When 80-some-odd% of your budget is salaries, it's hard to cut $1.8 million or $2.3 million in supplies because you just don't spend that much, she said. So we are hoping it doesn't get to that point. We are currently having conversations and just, not necessarily hiring new positions, not replacing positions through attrition, looking at our enrollment and if it has gone down in any area or some of our class sizes. Ozark Fire Chief Jarrett Matheny said he estimates that if voters approve the freeze in Christian County, the Ozark Fire Protection District's budget would see a 25% hit. For the fire district, staffing is also a primary concern if the district begins to see diminishing funds. The fire department includes 40 staff members, though it is in the process of filling 7 vacancies. During the hiring process, Matheny said a potential property tax freeze has come up as a concern for prospective hires. Firefighters in the Ozark District see an uncertain future with their pay and benefits, whereas Greene County, their funding is continuing to go up and their pay and benefits are also going up, he said. So, I have firefighters that are really considering their future, and that's a huge challenge as we try to recruit the best. Matheny said the uncertainty of the future makes planning for larger capital projects more difficult as well. The fire district has money in reserves, so it can continue operations as usual for 2 to 3 years before it may have to find an alternative funding mechanisms or make cuts. We're going to continue to answer the alarms in the best way possible, but there's no getting around to the fact that it takes a significant amount of funding, especially in Ozark. We're growing, the infrastructure's growing, and the cost of insurance, the cost of workers' comp, the cost of everything that we do in putting diesel in trucks and maintaining trucks is continuing to skyrocket. And the current funding is barely keeping up, the fire chief said. So there's no way this looks, positive for us to keep our services at the rate we're providing them. For schools, Wilson said, the freeze will also make it that much more difficult to keep salaries on track with inflation. Whether you're talking about taxes, whenever you're talking about taxes, it's always hard because you know that taxes impact the financial stability of our families, the people in Christian County, she said. There's just a multitude of areas that it will affect, and it's very hard to say it's a cut of this percentage of the dollar amount. We just know that it will impact services, we just don't know at what level. The pending legal challenges are another reason to be wary. While the motion for summary judgment was denied, the case remains pending and on track for a trial in Cole County, meaning the property tax provision of the bill could still be found unconstitutional after the election. Both the Ozark School District and the Ozark Fire Protection District are among the plaintiffs in the pending lawsuit regarding the constitutionality of the legislation. At the core of the challenge is the fact that the legislation treats counties and therefore the taxpayers within those counties differently, in conflict with the state's requirement of uniformity in taxation. Matheny also noted that the tax freeze will be decided by voters in all of Christian County, meaning those outside of the Ozark Fire Protection District's boundaries get to weigh in on the district's funding. If the citizens of the Ozark Fire District wanted to reduce the funding, we support that, but citizens outside of the district should not have a say, he said. Some taxing districts, such as the Logan-Rogersville School District, span several counties, creating a unique situation where parts of the district taxpayer base could see bills capped while others wouldn't. Superintendent Rocky Valentine said in Logan-Rogersville's case, if both Christian and Webster counties opt to freeze property taxes, those within the district's boundaries in Greene County, where appraised values could continue to rise, and those not impacted by the freeze could see a higher burden of the current debt service. If any of the SB3 caps go into effect, it would impact how the district manages future growth, he said. Representatives of the tax district who spoke to the News-Leader said they don't want to scare voters and simply seek to educate constituents before the election about the potential effect of the property tax measures could have on services. Matheny said the Ozark Fire Department has and will continue to operate within its means and be good stewards of tax dollars regardless of what voters decide. Legal uncertainty, potential for growth changes. With the legal challenge pending and constitutionality questions lingering, Cole Areola Carr, managing director of the Missouri Special Districts Association, said voting will have consequences regardless. If the law is found to have no standing after the election, voters will be confused and trust in local government will be eroded, further straining the relationship between communities and special districts. Although several lawmakers, including Senator Mike Moon, have said they believe the law will be found unconstitutional, Areola Carr said taxing districts still must operate under the current law until told otherwise. That can be particularly concerning if a legal decision stretches past the fall when taxing districts set their levies. We're all just operating on the leading assumption that this is going to get tossed out, he said, but we can't actually operate that way when it comes down to putting numbers on paper for local governments. Ariola Carr
Time
said
is 12 p.m.
the Special Districts Association at large have stepped up efforts to educate lawmakers and community members alike on the role districts play in the communities and the need to preserve those services. He said, on average, 12 cents on the dollar of property taxes go to special districts. Missouri is not alone in seeking to address higher property tax bills as values of homes have continued to climb amid the nationwide housing crisis and steady inflation in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. But Rita Jefferson, local analyst at the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, said this approach fails to get at the root of the problem. Missouri's solution also stands out. She said generally, property tax growth caps are done on a statewide level rather than county by county, and she called the 0% tax cap extremely unusual. With taxes capped at different levels based on county, she said, counties will see uneven growth. Since the property tax base would reset when a property changes hands, Jefferson said that will also mean people will opt to stay in their homes for longer. According to previous News-Leader reporting, turnover in homes is already at a low point after the ultra-low interest rates during the pandemic. If you just cap growth and how much your assessed value can grow, all you're actually doing is advising people to stay in their homes for even longer. That makes property market that much more difficult to actually get into. It actually makes it harder to convince somebody to sell. Reduced mobility and fewer home transactions will only make homes more expensive and supercharge the home affordability problem, Jefferson noted. While the biggest crunch in rising costs and higher taxes is felt by lower and mid-income families, she said capping tax growth can lead to very uneven growth in the wealth of property owners as well. Oftentimes, the homes that grow in value the fastest, the homes that appreciate in value the fastest, are the most expensive ones. And so it actually ends up being that those wealthiest homeowners are the people who get the biggest tax cuts of all. She said property taxes are a big concern for property owners because they come in one bill at the end of the year. In actuality, it's really fundamentally like much smaller share of your income than your federal income taxes, much smaller share of your income than perhaps all of the added up sales tax you pay on a daily basis. I don't want to say it's not onerous on people, but I want people to think critically about how much you are going to be willing to pay to keep your local government going, Jefferson said. If property tax caps are approved and ruled legal, it will add new considerations in consumer decisions. Jefferson does not anticipate a mass exodus from counties like Greene, where property taxes are not capped. Some people could choose surrounding bedroom communities in Christian County instead, but also, she said, if county services become less stable or struggling with underfunding, it could draw more people to non-cap counties where those issues do not exist. The SB 3 tax caps would not impact senior tax freezes that were adopted in counties starting in 2024 under Senate Bill 190. This program would continue, with eligible seniors continuing to have their property taxes frozen regardless of the April 7th outcome or constitutionality of the law. However, when counties enacted SB 190, they faced logistical challenges and required additional hiring, at least in Greene County, to process all the applications. Since SB 3 would essentially expand the program countywide in certain counties, it could potentially create further headaches for county employees and office holders. In an FAQ page on the SB 3 question, Vernon County indicated the county would need to modify its software system and develop processes that would calculate the tax credit for 2027. Several new pieces of legislation have been introduced in Jefferson City. This session focused on property taxes, including bills that would exclude new construction, move special district elections, change assessments, or eliminate property taxes on personal property altogether. Thank you for listening to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. Tune in every week, Monday through Friday, on the Blind Community Thrift Store's YouTube channel at 10 a.m. for more up-to-date news from the Springfield News-Leader, Springfield Daily Citizen, Springfield Business Journal, and 417 Magazine. Listen after we are live on the Audio Reader Network at www.reader.ku.edu. All broadcasts are played over KSMU's subcarrier airwaves at 67 kilohertz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Contact Audio Reader Network for information on receiving a pre-programmed radio.